Hey, this show's brought to you by Manscaped.
Yeah?
And it's Christmassy. But if you want to shave your tree at Christmas, you should go to manscaped.com and use that promo code DANGLE to make sure that you're nice and clean for Christmas or the holidays, whatever you celebrate, or New Year's.
It's not how trees work.
20% off and free shipping. You got to trim. It's trimmings. Christmas trimmings.
You don't shave a tree.
Start the intro.
What's wrong with you?
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wylde, and Jesse Blake.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we could talk about the fact that the Leafs won 2 straight. We could talk about the fact that Mitch Marner's got a 16-game point streak happening.
That's so many.
Or we could talk about everybody pretending to know the rules of soccer yesterday and watching Canada-Croatia.
Oh, my God.
I didn't think Croatia or Belgium did the right football with a U. I don't think they did.
I hate that. I hate people who this is their first time watching soccer all year and they're like, you know what? I know everything and I'm the biggest fan.
Well, Croatia,
get out of here.
Croatia did outplay Canada.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question. And from a smarter person than I, James Sharman broke it down and he said, listen, all the things that Croatia was really good at are the things that you could say are Canada's weaknesses. And so that's why it was sort of a bad matchup. I also think, from what I've read, that it didn't seem like Canada was up for this game in the same way that they were maybe up for it against Belgium. But Belgium is having a shitty tournament, and maybe they were just bad. And maybe we got our hopes up.
You know,
because they lost to Morocco, which is completely unexpected.
This is just human nature. Like, let's not pretend like we don't need to gatekeep soccer. What we do need to gatekeep, and I wish there were a stronger gatekeeping lobby, is all the Olympic sports.
What? What do you mean?
No, they do not do a good enough job of gatekeeping those sports.
What do you mean?
Every Olympics, we watch someone do a dive, and we're like, look at this bullshit. Look at all the splash. That's a lot of splash.
Right.
You're not even going to be in the top 10 with all that splash. Look at that. The judges got wet. Get out of here.
Right.
I'm a fan of people getting into the sport and watching and caring about it.
No.
I don't like
we must gatekeep
the very strong opinions.
Right.
It's unnecessary because you aren't the expert on this. You just got here. Why is your opinion so strong?
I think my favorite. Okay, so there was a little chant from American fans because the U.S. took on Britain, and no, they didn't. England. Sorry, they took on England. Very different. Excuse me. The States took on England, and their fans had a chant called "It's called soccer."
It's called soccer.
Thank you, Jesse.
Love that. Love that.
It's called soccer.
Love that.
That's funny.
Very funny chant.
Now, that is Americans being so American. But in this case, I ship it. That is the correct thing to do, because all of a sudden, whenever there is footy afoot, Canadians start saying footy and pitch and match
And kit.
and like, oh, that's a poor ball. Just say it's a shitty pass, man. That's what you mean. That pass was shit. Don't even say shit.
Why?
Even that is making it too
Also,
British.
stop saying it's off the woodwork. Guys, the poles are metal now.
Oh,
my God.
off the woodwork. The keeper.
Yeah.
It's the goalie. Enough with that. It's the goalie.
Oh, every 4 years, all of a sudden, everyone's from Old Trafford. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, where did this come from?
Yeah, 100%. So
What do you think? I get a Scottish accent when I go to my in-laws' house? No. Just talk the way you talk. Well, all of a sudden, and then the next day you're back to normal? It's just, you know what? My wife does that. She has an accent around her parents, but not when she's away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people
different.
just...
that does happen.
That's 100% different.
Like
No, people
Jackson-
have a soccer accent when they're around soccer, and they start talking about footy.
Yeah, but she
the match.
was from there.
No. But aren't
These
we
people
all
pop
from
in.
soccer?
Oh,
It's
no.
the beautiful game.
No, they're
and there's
popping
beauty in all of us. No, I appreciate the Americans saying it's called soccer because it is them being arrogantly them, and that is what you should be. Like, where are the soccer fans who talk like the Letterkenny guys? is what I want to know.
Well, I have a question about this. Okay. I have a real question because can you play that chant one more time, Jesse?
I can.
It's called soccer. It's called soccer.
Okay. So that beat, I don't even know what you call that. That da 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 da. That is the only chant that North Americans are capable of.
It's all we know.
Why is it that you can go to a British soccer game and they're like, okay, we're going to take the B side of Rod Stewart's album from 1986 and we're going to create a whole song and all of you are going to know it and we're going to chant it all game and then switch it up mid-game.
Yeah.
Do they have like a conference on learning these? Is it choir practice? Like
We have it at TFC.
Do we?
Yeah. Just
Well, the fan
red
support, that's
section,
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but that section.
Supporter section.
Is that what it's called?
Supporter
And
section, yeah.
they sit there and they have all their chants.
They
and
do have
everything,
the,
right?
so they must commiserate on that because like there's certain like I was going through before the World Cup. I just got down the YouTube wormhole and something came up and it was best British soccer chants. And it was just like, they were just taking random 80s pop songs and insulting the other team with it. And there were all of these ones, at least that were featured in the video, were really like funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't see that happening at football or hockey or basketball or baseball.
The Nashville ones are good. Remember when we were down there?
Can I have another? Yeah, absolutely.
And when
Thank
there's a
you.
penalty, there's one of those.
The loudest
It's
hockey,
all your fault.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. Yeah, that was
loudest-
Nashville's got great
Awesome.
chants.
the loudest North American hockey fan base is the quietest European soccer fan base.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Nashville is our standard for, wow, these guys are loud. And over there, it's like, no, they have like a 3-verse song about like how your former owner died. And it's funny to them.
Right.
And like,
And they're insulting the family. Like it's crazy.
my favorite is, what do we think of Tottenham? Shit! What do we think of shit? Tottenham! Thank you! That's all right! We ain't Tottenham! We ain't Tottenham! We ain't Tottenham! We ain't Tottenham! You haven't seen that one?
No, I have not seen that.
Love that.
That's I think if there's one thing that can be gleaned from the World Cup is North Americans need to do better with our chants. We need to get more intricate. We need to get funnier. We need to make it a little bit more.
Imagine baseball having chants.
Oh my God.
Just an old bunch of crusty old guys at a baseball game on a Sunday afternoon. doing a chant. I like it.
Altuve would have had an even rougher post-cheating discovery year.
Honestly, I'm so bummed that we got robbed of the Houston Astros getting booed in every place they went because of COVID. Those guys deserved. I know they won the World Series this year fair and square, but you could cast some doubt on their previous one. And it's such a shame because that team was so much fun to watch. The players on that team were so exciting. And it's such a bummer to watch that Astros team fall. And I don't think they ever really got the shit that they deserved. They should have gotten a lot of shit.
100%. 100%.
What do you got there, Jesse?
There's some good compilations of Astros getting booed over the last year.
But it's just them getting booed.
It's them getting heckled and taunted. It's really good, but yeah, we didn't get the true Astros.
No,
and then
we need altos. We need different verses and choruses.
Yes. And they go and hire the most likable man in baseball who's never won a World Series, and they get him his World Series, Dusty Baker. Like, I hate it. Just a lovely man. Just a lovely guy.
Did you see him doing the card? He was filling out the card when the team won the World Series. Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, sorry. It's just they showed the same clip over and over again. Can you believe this? Yes. I couldn't believe it the first time I saw it, but now it's the 30th time and I can.
Who scored the goal?
Who scored what goal?
Pierre's goal. World Juniors.
I can because Guley can ice the puck.
Who scored the goal?
Jordan Everly scores!
Jordan Everly.
Tie game! Can you believe it? I can, because 30 seconds talking about an icing, and I'm slowly realizing that I'm just trampling all over the moment. It's a magical play.
Everly. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, but he said, I think he called it like Tavares's magical play or something. It was like, he was hell-bent on talking about the minutia in the moment, and really the moment should just be, holy fuck, they scored.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all. You can't play it. So Jesse just started playing the clip only for Adam and I to be like, you can't play that.
I wanted to hear it.
I'm glad we heard it. It's worse than I remember somehow.
So bad.
It's one of the worst calls in like sporting history. Other than no, I mustn't. But it's a bad one.
Other than?
Nope. Other than none of them. They're all very good.
There it is. Leafs win 2 games back to back.
Hooray!
Which is, man, if you're a Leaf fan dating back to even the Babcock era, it's such a rare thing. It used to be guaranteed
they were allowed.
They were guaranteed to lose the second game. They were always guaranteed to lose the second game.
Single time.
And they played pretty damn well against both teams. I think real domination of the Penguins. But
they're in trouble.
The Penguins. So okay, I know we are supposed to probably start with the Wylde, but I just only want to talk about the Penguins game because I am not because of the Leafs. I'm like, what has happened to the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Yeah, we can get to Minnesota. I think they would want us to get to it for Matt Murray reasons.
Oh yeah, I guess we should mention that.
But no, we can start with the Penguins with the promise that we will get to the Wylde. Yeah, man, the Leafs have only really dominated their opponents, I don't know, 4 times this year, maybe. But I don't think it's a matter of they have Pittsburgh's number. I think it's a matter of they're not very good. And
like
they're in a tough way.
41-24, I think.
They outshot them by a lot, and Pittsburgh was never really a threat or in it. The Leafs scored that goal. Actually, Jesse, I'm going to send you a screen cap that I kept from that game because it's...
Are you talking about the opening goal?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's a moment. I've never been so shocked at seeing one of the greatest players of all time do something so extremely out of character.
Right.
It's one of the worst plays I've ever seen Sidney Crosby make. Well, and it's not even really...
Well, we deserve payback for the one that Sandine gave to him.
God.
Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's just so odd to see a great player like that just screw up a line change, and the puck's not even out of the zone.
Well, it's all of them.
It's everybody
4
on that
guys.
line.
It is all of them, but like, okay, I'm sorry. So it's up on the screen right now. So there's obviously the center ice red line, but if you were to flip the red line, he's not even at center ice for getting to his bench. So like Justin Hall, he's not either. He's going off for a line change. He at very least is vaguely skating. There's another Penguin going off. They're right up against the boards. They're vaguely skating. Sidney Crosby is going for a casual public skate. And like the game's just begun. Like, and that's a short shift too.
That's odd for him.
It's shocking.
That's very not him.
It's very not him. And then he missed, I don't know if we ever got an answer for this, but he missed like the next 8 or 9 minutes after that. And then he left the first period early after returning. He played the rest of the game. I think what happened after this play is he broke his boot.
Yeah, he kicked the fucking boards in front of him on the bench. He injured himself, it looked like.
I don't know if he injured himself. I think he might have broken his skate.
He injured his equipment.
Yeah.
Right. He did it to himself in that he was kicking the boards because he was so pissed.
So it's almost like giving him a 10-minute misconduct because you know how, by the way, Sidney Crosby is extremely particular about his equipment. And so it's not like they just give another skate and go, all right, Sid, go ahead. They have to sharpen that blade a specific way. It's got to be done up the right way. It's got to make sure it matches his foot. They have backups for these things.
Yeah,
but those things have got to be up to snuff before he comes back, which is why he would have been gone for so long.
Yeah,
It's a miracle he was back in 10 minutes.
I don't know if they actually said, I don't know if he's going to miss the next game or if he's listed as day-to-day or whatever. I don't think he hurt himself. I think he
just broke the boot.
Broke his skate. But there, I highlighted this in the LFR video. The top line was so bad in the previous game against the Leafs. Crosby was a -4. Rust, who I think was up on the top line, he was replaced with Ricard Raquel. He was a -4. Letang was a -4. Gensel was a -5. There was no Penguin within 10, 15 feet of any of the Leafs on any of the 4 goals.
Mm-mm.
They're abysmal. They're totally shocking.
Is it? But
it doesn't make sense because of all the experience on the team.
But
no, it really doesn't.
is it the old thing? Or is it the lack of structure thing? Is it a lack of depth? What is it? I couldn't figure it out.
Well, they have depth. They have Kasperi Kapanen as a healthy scratch.
In what, 7 or 9 of the last 10 games?
Yeah, was it Kevin Papetti with the tweet?
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
he's not getting in the lineup.
He's
and when
played
he is,
7 minutes in like the last month.
Yeah, man. Like, and he makes way too much money for that. And
Do you think they're trying to teach him a lesson, or is it like, because they're obviously not trying to trade him. If you're trying to trade him, you play him.
as a Leaf fan, good fucking luck. If he hasn't learned by now, he's not gonna learn it. A really talented player, bit of a bag of rocks. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you're getting with this player. And I think the Penguins are a little bit sick of it. But what I see isn't necessarily an absence of skill or ability.
Oh no, he's extremely.
Not with him. Sorry, I'm
very
moving.
skilled.
I'm moving to the Penguins. I'm not seeing a lack of skill or ability. I kind of wonder if Mike Sullivan's message has gone stale. I think he's a great coach. We know he's a great coach. He won back-to-back cups with
But he's
them.
been the coach there for what, 5-6 years now?
Yeah, and I think he just got extended, but whatever they're doing in Pittsburgh right now is not working at all.
But even before that game, Pittsburgh was one of the hottest teams in the league. Like, we're forgetting that
Yeah, I
they
guess
started
you're right.
on awful. They were bottom of
They
the
were
league,
brutal.
literally, I think, second last of the standings for the first 2 weeks of the season. And then they've turned it around to the point where they were right on the cusp of a playoff spot, and they were 7, it would have been 7, 1 and 2 or something like that in
That's
their last
hot.
10 coming into the Leafs game. And right now they're 7-2 and 1 in their last 10.
Wow, they are
But-
legitimately one of the hottest teams in the league. That's hilarious.
but they went back to their first 2 weeks of the season, Penguins, in that game versus the Leafs. But they've been relatively hot and winning some games.
2 of those losses are like, actually, they're what would it be? 7-0-1 in their last 8 games, not against the Leafs.
Yeah.
So maybe they're fine, and the Leafs just have their number. But like, the Leafs have cooked them alive.
But we
the
also
last
saw
2 games.
how the effort they gave on Friday night, it wasn't great.
No, they had a good counterattack. I'd say the first 3 minutes after Marner scored, and then they were never in it, not for a minute.
Right. I also want to talk about that Michael Bunting goal.
Oh,
Now that fourth goal,
Yes.
I call it a Michael. It's actually Matthews that scored it, but let's be honest. Michael Bunting never giving up on the play, and we're starting to see Michael Bunting, the guy from last year, show himself again, and why he was so valuable. Like, he did have a slow start to the year. There's no question about it, but he seems to have found that form, and the Nylander, Matthews, Bunting trio is pretty sweet. It's going really well, and I'm wondering with Bunting, because if you haven't seen it, there's like 3 Pittsburgh Penguins on him from blue line to blue line and then into the top of the hash marks, and then he finally falls down, but as he's falling, gets the puck to Matthews, who is wide open. You said every goal they had, there was not a Pittsburgh defender on them.
no, there was a good tweet from Cam Sharon, who used to work for the Leafs. Like, the Penguins were down at that point, and Malkin was cheating for offense a little bit, and you should... the good bet is the Penguins are going to come up with the puck there. That's a good bet, right? But like, they weren't winning the battles. The Leafs were outworking them. And to the point where, I don't know, do you call that a lucky play? Maybe. Not a lot of plays are made when guys are lying down on the ice. But you could have easily called a penalty on Malkin coming up the ice. He held Bunting's hand with both of his, and it didn't get called. I actually was really surprised by the lack of calls in that game. I thought the Penguins could have lost by more than they did, because I thought they got away with a lot. But Bunting, I thought, started the season playing poorly. The effort is always there. He just sort of looked lost. And lately, he's been playing really well by my eye, but not getting rewarded for it. The pucks weren't going in. He could be the Leafs' leading goal scorer for November, but I think he's got 1. It hasn't been going in. That line, getting those 2 goals, the Matthews to Willie goal, and then Bunting to Matthews, and then Matthews' celebration says it all.
Yeah.
Well, he looked at Bunting. The way he looked at Bunting?
First comes the roar, and that was the roar that you saw after that goal. And I wonder if the Lion's ready to come out of the den.
What did we say last episode? No forehand 5-on-5 goals. That was his
first one.
First forehand 5-on-5 goal for Austin Matthews.
November
and it was
26th.
November 26th.
Boy,
that's insane.
There must have been a prop bet on that one somewhere.
Some
you're
island.
making a lot of money.
I can't believe that.
I know.
I can't believe that.
I know.
Insane.
And you know, this team is crazy. This team has 3 players with over 10 goals already, which is great.
Tavares, Willie, and Matthews.
Yeah, nice balanced scoring. But I worry about Matthews because you mentioned last episode that he looks a little injured. You know, who knows if there's a little lingering issues in the wrist. You know, if the shot hasn't fully been there yet.
See, the fancy stats guys, though, are coming out and they're saying, well, actually, I think he's just unlucky.
Oh, yeah?
And
His shooting percentage is down by about 8% this year.
Oh, wow.
That's
significant.
He's usually between 18 and 20. He's right now at a 10%. And that's just a basic base level way of looking at it.
Listen, when a goalie who is usually a 9-10, let's say, is an 840, the good bet is they'll have a stretch of like 930 to get back to 910, right? That's the bet.
Right.
Something like that. When a scorer usually shoots, what is Matthews? 14%?
Oh, no, he's like I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up.
Let's say 14 for the sake of argument.
I think he's higher than that.
And he's shooting 2.
Yeah.
You know he's going to have a really hot streak where he is unsustainably like 40%.
His career shooting percentage is 16. Last year it was
career?
Yeah, because
what a mutant.
But the best players in the league, they're up around 18 to 20%.
Wow.
And actually that's pretty low.
That's an alien.
He's had it he had it 18.5 the year before, where he also won the Rocket.
Oh my God, take me to your leader.
Yeah.
That's out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that will only go up from here.
Yeah. So
it's a good sign.
It's a good sign. So, but by the numbers, it'll even out. But this is the argument that we had early last year where the Leafs had like 45 shots on Igor Shesterkin. And people are like, man, he was incredible. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. The Leafs like fired it into his chest maybe 40 times out of the 45. And he made a handful of really good saves. So, and what Sheldon Keefe said after that game is the Leafs were taking shots that made themselves into easy saves. And what I've seen with Matthews is I don't think the shots are coming from the same dangerous places that they have been all season. So when I see that his shooting percentage is down, I'm not shocked at all, really. Like he's not even, it's maybe a bit unlucky that he hasn't even scored a softie or two that just sneaks by a goalie, but, maybe they're right. Maybe this is where it all turns around, but I don't know. By my eye, he looked pretty open on that one.
60 goals is such an unattainable number for
I don't
hockey
know, but
players.
There's a reason it's only happened. It happens once every 10 years.
The expectation can't be that he's flirting with it every year. We have to bring him back down to earth a little.
Here's what changed about Matthews in the last 2 years. Because remember, he had 41 in 52, and then he had 60 goals in 73 games, right? 2 seasons back to back, wins the Rocket. What changed is that Keefe had him shooting more. Last year, he had 348 shots in 73 games. The year before, 222 in 52 games. He's shooting 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago, COVID shortened year, 18.5%. Last year, 17.2%. I actually think that this is very attainable for him in the way that it was for Stamkos at his height and now. And Ovechkin forever and ever, amen. I think he's up in that range if he gets the shots in. He's already got 100 this year in 23 games. So he'd be on pace for somewhere close to 350 shots this year.
Ovechkin's going to pass Gordie Howe like later this season. You know that, right? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I can't believe what we're watching.
I know. And everybody's acting like it's like with the Mitch Marner point streak. It's like Leaf fans, you can't understand. 10 years ago, a player had a 5-game point streak. He'd be a hero. We got a guy with 16. We had a guy that won the Hart, won the Rocket Richard trophy twice. We don't even think about it.
Barely noteworthy.
And I think Caps fans, it's like sort of like, yeah, Ovechkin scores a lot. That's what he's supposed to do. They expect greatness. It's kind of cool.
This, and I know a lot of Penguins fans are listening to this segment, so this might piss them off. Who has been the better player for the duration of their career? Crosby or Ovechkin?
Sidney Crosby.
Sidney Crosby. That would be my answer. Adam, what's your answer?
I would say Sidney Crosby, but by a hair. Like it's not that.
It's a broad question.
By the end, let's say both of their careers ended today. By the numbers.
Oh, is this a Jesse Blake sports report?
Hey!
Where we did this exercise?
Did you do that exercise?
I don't know. Maybe.
By the numbers, man. Oh boy, it's a difficult conversation. Now, the number that matters most was Sid is 3 as in 3 cups, but that's a really special player, man. Really special
It's
player.
also, you're talking about different positions on the ice. You're talking about
center versus wing.
You're talking about a left
Yeah.
winger who's just sit out there and just sit in your spot and we'll feed you the puck and it's your time to score versus a centerman who's going up and down the ice and distributing and doing more playmaking.
Stand literally still.
Yeah.
Alexander Ovechkin is one of the most visually funny players I've
His
ever
equipment
seen.
never looks like it fits.
It never looks like
His
it fits.
pants are always too long.
No.
You know what I mean? He's always like that
more
kid that.
European. I feel like more European skaters dress like that.
Maybe. I don't.
No, he looks like a beer leaguer who showed up late.
Yeah, I always feel like he's like the awkward teenager that hasn't grown into his equipment yet. Like his parents bought a size too big.
Yeah.
But he is just a freaking animal. Like he's unbelievable to watch.
Tinted visor, yellow laces.
Yeah, just whatever.
Standing still, stick in the air. Best player on the ice. It doesn't make any sense.
It's shocking every time he scores from that spot because everybody knows he's standing there and he doesn't move, and we all know they're working
That's
the
where
puck
it's going.
to that area.
It's going there.
Yeah.
And it works, and it's worked for 2 decades.
The greatest trick the Capitals ever pulled was convincing you Alex Ovechkin doesn't exist.
It's amazing.
And they've done it since 2005. It's dumb.
It's unfortunate that their defense doesn't exist this year. It would be nice.
Yeah. Some of you listening to this right now are very young. And just know that no one's been able to figure this out for your entire life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Since we were in high school. I want to talk about this. We could talk about the Wylde thing in a little bit here, but I do really want to talk about this. Nick Robertson is skating in grays today with Wayne Simmons, which means he will not be playing. Mm-hmm. He has played 11 games for the Leafs this year. He has now been scratched in 10. And people are starting to get upset. And I think rightfully so for all the reasons we've talked about. We've done this exercise. But when you compare and contrast with Alex Kerfoot, 23 games, he's got 7 points. He's played every game, right?
Uh-huh.
And yes, I know he's shooting 2.9% and his career average is about 13%, which is that, okay, he's probably good for some goals. But last year when he had about a career average year for him, he had 13. So the max that you can really hope for Alex Kerfoot from now until the end of the year, basing it on his history of the 5 seasons previous, is about 10 more goals.
I would kill for that.
Is it really worth sitting Nick Robertson this much for potentially 10 more goals from a guy who's clearly having an off year, who's going to be a free agent, who's not coming back? What is happening here?
Let's pretend Nick Robertson doesn't exist.
Okay.
I don't think Alex Kerfoot is the greatest use of a roster spot. He's just not, man.
It's the unfortunate reality that they don't exist in vacuums, these players, and that their contracts are tied to with their performance, and that you can't scratch Kerfoot if you ever want to move him. Because if you scratch Kerfoot, his career's done in Toronto. Like that's it. You're admitting that it's over here.
I think he's an NHL player. It's not working.
Yeah, but you have to keep running it out to try.
Like the Nick Ritchie situation, right? Couldn't scratch him, but he couldn't find a spot.
You know, like
they still have a number of underachieving players. It's kind of wild.
Yeah,
like they're fourth. They're fourth in the league.
The top end of their lineup has been performing, so that's all you really need.
But not to their standard, though.
Mm-hmm.
Or Matthews hasn't.
But they've been winning games. So, but with Robertson and Kerfoot, like their performance is also tied to their age, their NHL experience, and their contracts. All of that has to come into play here. It's not, we can't NHL video game this where you play the higher overall who fits in the chemistry of the lineup, you know? Everything has to be in play.
Part of me wonders if they're making a point with Robertson because they've also said there's value to being in the NHL and being around it. Because didn't I read somewhere that Robertson doesn't want to be sent down?
I have not read that.
Like, I thought I saw that somewhere where, you know, he needs to be getting games. And I think they might have said, Nick, we're going to get you some games. And I think he said, I should look this up before I say it into a microphone. But I thought I thought what I saw is he doesn't really want to go back to the Marlies. He wants to be in the NHL. And they're saying, okay, but there's a price to that. Right? It's incredible to me that one of the most dangerous power play teams in the entire league it shows you how good the top unit is, because the second unit has Kerfoot and Engvall. Two guys who genuinely could not hit the broadside of a barn.
Do you remember when they moved Willie to the second unit for like 2 games?
No, it was a punishment.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that, because as an enormous Willie defender, I will acknowledge that you need to smack him around once or twice a season to get his attention. He deserved
that punishment, you think?
Yeah. He made a dumb play that was beneath him, beneath his skill set. And then now look. And ever since then, he's been fine. It's a non-issue for me.
Okay. I don't think the Leafs are putting their best players on the ice, but it's more of circumstance. I think like Nick Robertson probably should be in the lineup. Kerfoot should probably be somewhere else, but it's not that way, unfortunately.
Leaf fans haven't been talking about this name enough. Timo Meier. That's my deadline aim.
He'd be great.
Well, the contract's a lot, right? But they got room now that everybody's on LTIR.
Yeah, and he's, I believe, expiring deal. I think one of the more underrated players in the league.
Elliot and Jeff threw out Frank Vetrano as well. But they're saying,
knock it off.
But they were saying that the Leafs couldn't do that with their contract situation. And with and I don't mean money. I mean 50 contract. Based on what the Ducks may have wanted them. Yeah, well,
I know.
Did you have to sign everyone?
Well,
you could have said no to a couple guys.
Well,
Timo Meier, by the way, $6 million left for this season. And at the end of this year, Timo Meier is an RFA.
Oh, he's an RFA.
Which is fascinating because he's only 26. And so there are the Leafs would retain his RFA rights if they qualify him.
Yeah, they wouldn't though, would they? That'd be stupid.
No,
he's amazing.
Out. He's a volume shooter, and it's been going in. I remember we were making fun of me because I had him on my fantasy team, and he had by far the most shots in the league out of players who didn't have any goals.
He
got his first against the Leafs.
326 shots last year alone in 77 games.
That's a lot of shots. What's he at this year?
119 already.
119 already, and what's his production?
22 points, 12 goals, 10 assists, 24 games. I think
that's my guy.
And I think the Leafs have had a problem with not shooting. There's a lot of guys who are great at setting up. Marner, great setup man. Nylander's finally starting to shoot more. He's got an unbelievable shot when it doesn't whistle past the net. And Tavares is he's an in-tight player. He's a setup guy. They don't, other than Matthews, don't really have that sort of threat. And I do want to throw this out there. We talk about Toronto's depth supposedly being its strength, and it's proven to be so. But after those first 4 guys, the scoring falls off. You've got 12 goals from Tavares, 12 from Nylander, 10 from Matthews, and then it goes all the way down to 6 with Marner. And then you've got Yarncroke, Bunting, and Kampf with 5, 4, and 3 each.
And Kampf got a lot of those early. And
it just wouldn't hurt to have a guy who can also to score, to even that out a little bit.
Bunting, Matthews, Willie, Meier, Tavares, Marner. Yeah, sign me up for that shit.
Quarter of the season, that's about 15 goals from those guys. I don't mind that.
Oh, I don't mind the top end. I want a little bit more, but I'm sure that number is different if Kerfoot's scoring. I think the other thing is that people wonder, Robertson already has more goals this year than Kerfoot. He's played half the games.
That's nuts.
If you're looking for goal scoring in the top 6, is there a reason why he's not playing?
That they don't think his game's ready. They don't think his game's ready. I think when his game is on, he looks like a really dangerous player. And when it's off, he looks pedestrian. And that's exactly what the Leafs are trying to smack out of their veteran players, let alone the rookies.
Oh,
right?
Fair enough. Okay. I do want to say that the Leafs doing this with Giordano and Hall as your top defensive pair. If I told you on October 1st that the Leafs decor would be Giordano, Hall, Sandin, Liljegren, Mete, Hollowell, because Connor Timmins is just not playing yet. I guess he needs to get into the system.
That's fine. He just got over his conditioning.
So there might be alarm bells going off, but they look pretty good.
I'm convinced Mark Giordano is a number 1 defenseman that they're playing on the third pairing because he's his age and they wanted to save him. And in these moments, he can just whip it back out.
He
Like,
sure has been.
I don't think he lost anything. They've just been resting him and playing him less minutes because they had the bodies to run the 22 minutes. But when they need him to do that, he can just be like, okay, I'm back to Norris Trophy Mark Giordano because he won it 2 years ago.
Not long ago at all.
He's so good.
This is from facts_97 on Twitter, but apparently they're citing Kevin Papetti. And I do remember reading this from Kevin. I just couldn't find the tweet. Mark Giordano is 39 and has an AAV of 800 grand. He's been on for just 6 goals against at 5-on-5 through 21 games. No defenseman in the NHL with 200 plus minutes has been on for less goals against per minute.
I think he's the most talented defender on the team, and they just shout his minutes because they want him for the playoffs. And this is when they need him in a pinch. But when the playoffs time come, hopefully he's rested throughout the season and he can do everything that he's doing right now. He's unbelievable.
I wonder. I mean, listen, he did win the Norris Trophy like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Jesse. Just rest him and help him help other people along. I think it's amazing what they've been able to do with this core. Jordy Ben being out just definitely sucks. Like he just no breaks to be. He came in and he played so well too.
Man, listen, I think Hollowell and Mete have done well for themselves given the circumstances. Oh boy. I don't want to see many more games of that. I'm sorry. Those guys get bullied out there. They get bullied out there. That's a challenge for Sheldon Keefe. And you know what? Like these wins have come on the road here.
Mm-hmm.
And
with Shelgren in net.
Which like there's no way Dean Evison and Mike Sullivan weren't targeting that pair.
Absolutely.
And when the Wylde announced Ryan Reeves' debut, hilarious against the Leafs, his line was going to be Reeves, Eriksson, Ek, Foligno. I'm like, yeah, they're attacking that pair immediately because they're both 5'9". Yeah, you can squish them like a bug with that line, and they've been fine, and they're going to be on the road again in Toronto.
The Reeves isn't
Detroit
offering much outside of presence. I thought in that Wylde game,
locker room guy.
Like there wasn't a lot. There's a lot of skill that's dropped off.
So after the game, maybe this is a good transition to the net getting knocked off, because after the game, a reporter asked, I think it was Marc-Andre Fleury, hey, is it normal for the net to come off that easily? And Reeves shouted out, no! And I wanted to be like, hey, is it normal to be dash in your debut with a new team and also in the box unnecessarily?
Mm-hmm.
No! I didn't think it was there, Revo. He was on the ice for the first Leaf goal against. Oh, what do you know about that? Oh.
Yeah.
No, he's listen, big player, toughest dude in the league. Not that great at outscoring his opponents.
Let's talk about the post thing. Matt Murray said post game. Now this has happened a couple games in a row. Happened with New Jersey. Happened in Minnesota.
It had to happen back to back.
Absolutely. And Matt Murray, who's played great, by the way, he's been amazing. He says that he uses the post to push off,
which is common.
Yeah. So I'm just telling you what he said.
Yep.
It does seem like it's happened a lot to the same guy. Even as Leaf fans, as biased as we are, it does seem a little bit fishy, doesn't it?
It's worth mentioning. The third one was it Minnesota? It happened 3 times?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey, it only happened the one time. The one time in New Jersey, I was like, that seemed a little on purpose. Minnesota, I thought the third one was clearly an accident. One of the first 2 might have been an accident, and one of them was 100% on purpose. But hilarious, because I was ready to let this go.
Yeah.
It's over. And it resurrected today, and it's flooded my mentions.
Has it?
Yes.
Why?
Because of 32 Thoughts.
What did they say?
Elliot Friedman and Jeff Merrick. So Friedge did a little bit of sleuthing, went around the NHL, and he asked, hey, are there some buildings where, the net comes off a little easily? And whoever they were speaking to, or he was speaking to, said, funny you should say that. There is. He said, I think it was 4 or 5 teams. One of them was Tampa. I don't remember who the other was. And New Jersey and Minnesota.
No way.
I'm sorry. It just made me laugh
Hoisted
really
by thine
hard.
own petard.
It just made me laugh really hard. Like, it is kind of interesting, though, because, like, goalies have strategies, right? Obviously. And Matt Murray likes to push off his posts. And, you know, the goalies out there and I have a tumultuous relationship on account of I made a whole catchphrase making fun of them. If you're a goaltender, tend the goal. But goalies push off their posts. It's very common. The NHL has recently made it so the nets come off easier because
Safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
reduces-
nets used to be like hardcore.
Yeah, if you run into the net, like when Matthews ran his mouth into the net
Oh.
last year, like you need, if somebody's running into a post, you need the net to be able to dislodge so they don't get horrifically injured.
I saw that clip again recently. His tooth comes flying out, but his lip.
Yeah.
Just, can you imagine eating for the next few days?
Not fun.
Being Austin
You're
Matthews?
drinking. You're having a straw.
Yeah, there's a lot of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I think about Drew Doughty sometimes and how he manages food at
Brent
all.
Burns,
Yeah.
any of them.
I think they've got plates they put in to eat. Don't
Like
they?
denture kind of thing.
Yeah, like that. It just and then they pop them out.
I remember interviewing Stuart Percy, and he had one in junior.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He had one in junior. He hadn't even played pro yet, and this dude's got fake teeth.
Where's your visor?
Hockey,
dude?
man. That's why people are such
Or your
dorks.
cage, sorry.
When they're I got made fun of for wearing a cage during a charity tournament.
Sorry, what?
Guys,
Oh my god.
I use my face for a living and I suck at hockey. Fucking right, I'm wearing a cage.
I'm wearing a cage forever.
Yeah.
We pay to play there. I'm not losing a fucking tooth. I'm putting on a
That's
full
thousands of
cage.
dollars.
I didn't do it to
fix
impress
that.
you.
I don't play in the NHL.
Sorry.
By the way, it doesn't make you any more or any less of a man if you play with or without a cage. I know that a lot of people hang their masculinity on that. I'm here to tell you, you're hanging it on the wrong hook. It's ridiculous. And listen, I played without a mask a couple times. I'm like, this is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever done.
I played
in my life.
without it once.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's idiotic.
No, I don't need to be. Who am I? House League All-Star Adam Wylde?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Sitting in the dentist chair for 2 hours, but at least people think I'm fucking tough.
At least people think I'm a man.
Wait, what'd you say? They think I'm fucking tough. I'm a tough guy. You can't fuck with me.
What do you
Yeah.
think of Ken Reed's Jofa helmet?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, now on the flip side,
I love
he
it.
got cut like first shift, blood dripping down the nose. It was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. Listen, men are complicated. Yeah, boys will be boys, replacing their fucking teeth.
Yeah.
Anyway, where was this coming
the
from?
fucking post.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody makes a big deal on Friday. And then during the Pittsburgh game on Saturday, you remember Casey DeSmith? The net comes off. And then during the Leafs power play, and he's standing there being like, hey guys, the net's off.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That
Yeah,
also
but-
was just knocked off casually.
But why didn't everyone just make it like a giant friggin' deal about that? So what
No
is
big deal at all.
Here's how it happens. It all comes back to Toronto. Now it's a story with Matt Murray, and now Leaf fans, pettier than average, are going to point out every friggin' time it happens.
Wait, Leaf fans are going to point it out?
Yep.
To
They're
be
gonna
like,
point
look, it happens around the
Look
league.
at happening. Oh, there it is in Arizona, and here it is in Philly, and here it is in Tampa.
I saw a lot of
We should have a counter
for the fans that were complaining from the Wild and the Devils. People, a lot of cry about it memes. Like, oh, cry about it. Listen, man, if it was the Leafs and it was a player that kept doing it to the Leafs, I'd be upset. Like if the Leafs and Boston play in the playoffs, I'm putting that out there in the universe, and Linus Ullmark decides to start doing that, I'm not going to be happy about it. So I understand why they're upset. I get it.
Well, like Jesse's got one up on the screen right now.
This is the compilation of all three.
So he had one though where he's pushing off.
This one.
The net gives.
Yeah.
So he's not able to push off, but he's genuinely trying to make a save there.
All right.
And there's going to come a time where the net's going to come off, the other team is going to score, and Murray's going to say, I wish it hadn't. I wish it hadn't come off, because then I would be able to push off it stronger and I might have made the save there.
Mm-hmm.
This is,
That's the third
boy.
one. Yeah.
It is too early in the season for this shit to be happening. Oh, and by the way, the reason you didn't recognize this earlier is Matt Murray was not playing hockey games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one where he just pushes it off with his arm, that must have already been coming off. And that one, the wrong post comes off. It's not even the post that he runs into.
It's a little suspicious, but
the one with his arm is suspicious. The ones with his feet, he's trying to push off.
If I was a Minnesota Wild fan, I would be upset.
I get it. No,
I get why they're upset.
I get it. But I get it. The one with his arm, the one with his feet, he's trying to push off and make a save. Definitely cuts down in your rebounds. I don't know. I don't know. It's been enough of a story, and people have full enough diapers that I think something might get done about it.
You can't anchor them in more. That can't be a solution.
I know. So what do you say to goalies? Tough shit. Can't push off the post.
No, you can't tell them that either.
Well, sure you can. You got to do one or the other.
No, you can't tell a goalie not to push off if that's how they're playing the game.
So this is just going to happen over and over
again. This has just got to happen. It doesn't happen. See, the thing is, it doesn't happen as much as we think it does.
It's just
it doesn't. It's just their topic du jour.
Exactly. We're going to forget about this in 4 weeks.
Yep.
Don't
bullshit. It's going to keep happening, so we can't forget about it.
Don't get into the moment and overreact to the moment that's right now.
See.
Yeah, overreact to something important like the Leafs having a bad 5 games to start the season.
Yeah.
That's worth overreacting.
Oh, it wasn't 5. You shut your face.
It was 10. No, hey, I was right there overreacting with you.
No, listen. The Devils fans were mad about the 3 disallowed goals, which I suppose I understand. Murray pushed the net off at one point during the game. So it wasn't the primary thing they were mad about. It was another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then the very next game, it happens 3 times against Minnesota, and they lost. So they have a reason to be grumpy about it. Yeah, no, this isn't the last we've heard of this story.
All right, so why don't we do You Can Bet That with Dave? He's hanging on the line.
Sure.
Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook, presents You Can Bet That with David Bastel. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only.
All right, Dave's joining us after a very exciting weekend. Dave, there's a few things that we got to talk about. Sadly, Canada is eliminated from the World Cup, but they still have another game to play.
They do. They do. Morocco, December 1st is coming up. It's coming up. And you know what? Okay, a lot of people sit there and say, oh, they're out of it and stuff like that. But the team still wants some sort of result. A tie, a win would be fantastic. Morocco isn't that bad of a team either. We saw what they did to Belgium. So is it in the works? Is it in the cards? Morocco is the favorites at Sports Interaction, of course. But I got this weird feeling that Canada could get something out of it. Or maybe I'm just too optimistic about this. What about you guys?
Oh, let's double down on moral victories.
It's so Canadian.
What's the over under for moral victories? Let's get the moral victory cup.
I want to know the answer to this question. Is Morocco better than we thought, or is Belgium way worse than we thought without their key striker out? Because I was shocked that Morocco beat them so handily, and I'm just wondering if it's just because Belgium's just having a bad tournament because they're the number 2 ranked team in the world. They shouldn't be losing to Morocco. But yes, moral victory. I'll take a moral victory. I'm not like these guys. I'm not that cynical.
We made it. We scored a goal.
Marner points in December. Your answers are 12.5 over or 12.5 under, obviously. Like, is he going 12 or is he going 13? 12 or under, 13 or over.
And they play 12 games in December, by the way. They play 12 games in December.
Listen, the city of Toronto has a very strange relationship with this young man, but he has really carried the Leafs on his back at times this year. He's been so gosh darn good, and it doesn't really seem like he's slowing down, man. So that point streak's got to come to an end eventually, but he's the sort of guy who throws up 2, 3, 4 points in a game with icy silence. He'll get over.
Okay, Jesse?
I'm gonna lean on the over. I think he's been the best player on the Leafs in the last week and a half, and I can see that continuing throughout December.
12.5 is the number. Dave is the guy. Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts, whether it's for a friend or for the friend that you carry with you in your pants.
Oh,
Manscaped.com.
I really didn't know which one.
/Dangle or promo code Dangle.
He doesn't mean you. Don't worry.
Do your little drummer boy a favor and get them the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom.
Do you think the elf on the shelf is Manscaped?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I said the little friend in your pants.
Yeah.
And this is their little friend, but as you can see, they're not in.
Do you
our
think at
pants.
night he's manscaping?
I don't know, man. I don't
Maybe.
know.
No.
He probably goes back to the North Pole to report to Santa on something.
That's what he
Yeah.
does.
and clean himself up.
And yeah,
Take a
and
shower.
get clean.
You don't
Not-
even sleep.
Narc on a shelf.
Hey, add in Manscaped's top shower line products to have people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice and get naughty by going to manscaped.com and use the promo code DANGLE for free shipping and 20% off.
Way to ruin Santa forever.
Jesse, you want to talk about Connor Hellebuyck?
Yeah, I think it dovetails our last conversation that we were having before. You can bet that and all the ads about Connor Hellebuyck's mask getting knocked off in the game over the weekend with the Dallas Stars,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
where Hellebuyck's mask gets knocked off. We'll watch it here if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah. Obviously
so
can't show
this
it,
is the
but-
play for everybody listening and watching because you can't see it. There's a play. It's coming down to the last 20 seconds of the game. It's 4-3 Winnipeg. Connor Hellebuyck gets knocked over. I forget the player who knocks him over, but he gets knocked over. His mask
Jamie Benn.
gets knocked over by Jamie Benn in
What a
front of the
surprise.
crease. His mask comes off. Hellebuyck goes down on the ground and holds his hands over his head and is lying flat in the crease. The play continues. Refs do not blow the whistle, and the Stars take the puck, they work it around, and they score a goal. Now, the official rule in the rule book is that if there is an imminent scoring chance, and even though a player or a goalie is down injured, you keep playing. You keep playing until the scoring chance is done, and that's what happened here. The Dallas Stars tied it 4-4, and Hellebuyck was down on the ice with no mask.
There is precedence for this.
There's a ton of precedence.
So you're supposed to keep playing without a mask as a goalie.
Darcy Kemper had to do it last year.
Okay, but you're not allowed to stay on the ice as a player without a helmet.
Well, so
So I get why that rule exists, because then a goalie could just rip off their helmet and be like, what are you going to do about it?
Yes.
Like,
Listen.
I get it.
it's eventually going to happen. So this gets fixed. We have a larger conversation about this. When a goalie's helmet comes off, there's an imminent scoring chance. The player doesn't score on the scoring chance, and the goalie gets smacked right in the mouth. Right in the fucking mouth.
Last June, Darcy Kemper was playing a goal for the Colorado Avalanche, if you remember, in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
It is game number 4. He's in front of the net. He makes a save, and while he's making the save, his mask pops off. I believe the puck hits him in the mask. It pops it off. He keeps playing with no mask on, tries to make the rebound save, and Tampa scores.
Yeah, but here, like, okay, because we can't show it, here's how fast it happens. And this is how different it is. Mask off. Goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's way different than what
That's bang,
happened in Dallas and Winnipeg. Like
It's the shot off his mask, the rebound, shot in, goal.
I agree with that count. That's an imminent scoring chance.
Right.
But like, what's imminent?
So you can
Tonight? That the sun will go down? Because that is, we got what, 5 hours?
So we
So
go
the scoring
back.
chances
For whom?
The scoring chance for whom? Expected by whom? Imminent for whom?
So we go
I
back
love
to
that.
Dallas and Winnipeg, and the scoring chance happens, and they get a chance to make 2 passes. So Jamie Benn passes the puck 1-2. It's 2 passes around the net.
Here, can we time it?
after? Sure.
Okay.
So
Loading at the
internet's
mercy of the
buffering.
internet.
There we go. Mask is
Helmet
off.
off.
1 pass, 2 pass, goal.
Goal. It's just not the same.
So, but they count that as an imminent scoring chance because the player had the puck in front of the net. The first Dallas player who got the puck after the mask is knocked off had it in front of the net.
Okay.
If he decides to shoot that, then yes, but he makes 1 more pass.
He passes up the imminent scoring chance. Then it's a
I'll hear that
delayed
argument.
scoring chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Because
but
what,
then,
what if that second player who got the pass decides to cycle it and they keep going?
so yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, could you just continue to pass it around the point? Hellebuyck stayed down.
Yeah.
So one thing I don't like is goalies who quit the play.
Right. Yes.
I don't like
Yes.
when goalies quit the play, even if they got interfered with. But what if they're hurt? My question, did he keep playing after that?
Yeah, I believe he stayed in the game.
I don't know. I don't want to play that game. Here's the debate I was having, and I don't give a shit what the rule is. We're talking about perhaps what the rule should be. Jamie Benn is the one who knocks his helmet off. So should you just be allowed to... if the Jets knock their own goalie's mask off, if I'm the Dallas Stars, I'm like, well, it's your friggin' fault. So I don't care. However, Jamie Benn, I think, was pushed into Hellebuyck. So it is the Jets' fault that the goalie's mask comes off. This one's really tough for me. It's really tough for me. But
I think the rule's got to stay the way it is, because you will have people trying to skirt the rule.
But is that the imminent scoring chance?
I think it's imminent. Absolutely.
Oh,
They're right
boy.
in around the net. That's imminent for sure. For whomst? Dallas. Now listen, I want all the goals called back for Jamie Benn. It's just karma. He deserves it.
I
He
agree.
deserves to have every goal called back for offside.
The second best Ben.
No question. But in this case, it's a goal.
So there's a couple options here if you wanted to change the rule. One, you could stick with the rule that we have, imminent scoring chance, then we got to define what imminent scoring chance is. Two, if you change the rule to if a goalie's mask comes off, you stop play, then the NHL has talked about you'd have to also enforce all goalies to wear chin straps. Because right now they don't. They don't have to do it. They would never go for that. So it's a if this, then that, and the then that is a no.
Yeah.
Goalies don't even all wear neck guards.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going to get them to wear
because
goalies are sorry, go ahead.
Just for the context, if they're wearing chin straps, that means you can shake off your helmet to stop an imminent scoring chance.
Yeah, or just do the
exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Freddie,
you're knocking off your mask, and then play is stopped, and we're like, oh, the goal can't happen.
Freddie Anderson did that a lot. He did that a lot.
It's a shocking thing, the amount of power the goaltending lobby has in the NHL. Like, they are, without the evil part of it, sort of like they've got like the same power.
The umpires union.
Yeah, or the NRA. Like, it's crazy.
Wow, I like mine better.
Well, it's just like they're like, no, this is how it is. And everybody's like, well, I guess that's how it's got to be. I don't like it. I don't like that Andrei Vasilevsky's knee pads extend right up to his neck.
Yeah.
But I have to like it because that's what the goalies say.
The goalie
Does
lobby
anyone ever say, you know what,
funded
guy?
Gary Bettman getting re-signed?
You chose to stand in front of a puck going 100 miles an hour. Your fucking fault, man. Your fucking fault. How about, oh, we need the protection. I get that. How about we make the protection on your body slimmer without taking up a gigantic amount of space?
I get mad about goalies pretending like they cannot be touched at all outside of the net, even when it's their fault. Because very often, not only are they wearing the most equipment, they're also like the biggest guy on the ice.
Absolutely. Tallest guy, usually.
Yep. It's, you can't take a goalie out from behind, which I think we saw a couple times last week. This is a tricky one.
But it's not that tricky. It's not that. What this particular play?
This particular play.
I thought you meant like goaltending. Like, oh, we couldn't possibly put on a chin strap like the rest of the league. You're a player on the ice and you can't put a 1 centimeter strap across your chin.
It's a weird position.
Baby, are you kidding me? Get out of here with this shit.
Man.
Why do we accept this? Honestly, why do we accept this?
I understand protecting goalies at all costs because the position is a rare position.
See, Adam is protecting it though.
I'm asking for more protection.
No, I'm letting them dictate what they want because of how little goaltending we have. If you go down to your fourth goaltender, you are going down to somebody who probably shouldn't be in the NHL right now. Like you have one of these guys who's a starter. It's not like everywhere else in your lineup where you have an abundance of forwards and defensemen. It's a rare position, so let's give them a little sway here.
I think it's just that honestly, people are so tired of arguing with goalies because goalie people will argue on everything.
The drummers of the NHL.
Absolutely, they are, and it's like nobody understands how you do that. So we're just going to take your word for it and never challenge you.
No, but the drummer is the least talked about and most important part of a band.
That's true.
Unless you're at a campfire, the drums are really fucking important. And no, I will say, listen, I just want to clear up a common misconception. I'm not a medical professional or a physics expert. A lot of people aren't sure about that, so I thought I would clear it for the record. But I think a chin strap or something that fastens the mask tighter to the face. If a goalie took a shot to the face like Darcy Kemper did, I think it'd really fuck him up. Because the mask has to have some give.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. You're right.
Even on the back part of the goaltend, their mask, like there's nothing there really.
That's kind of why
it's kind of open.
That's kind of like.
But I guess they never really need that.
Like, is the plate even padded?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is.
But
Plate's
like,
padded. For comfort though, not for safety.
sometimes it doesn't even cover like all of their head. You know, sometimes you see their hair throughout the side of the plate. You know,
How are you a bald goalie?
right?
Yeah.
So I'm willing to defer.
How does Greg
to
Anderson
goalies.
do it?
I'm willing to defer to goalies.
I think
On
some things,
Everything.
not on everything. I think that they know that that's the prevailing attitude, and they're like, shall we take advantage? We shall.
There's
Let's do
one
this
of
together. They
them.
all work together.
There's one of them on the team.
There's two.
There's the backup, but there's one starter. You got 12 forwards who start.
it's the easiest position to make it from the ECHL to the NHL.
Wow.
It could happen in like a week. You could be the backup of an ECHL team in a week. You're like, all right,
You could drive a Zamboni.
no, you starting a game. Oh fuck, or that.
You could be at UFT doing
Yeah.
homework.
Yeah.
And you could be in the NHL.
You could be a university student sitting there on a per diem eating free popcorn.
Yeah, just chilling with Austin Matthews.
And then they're like, here's your jersey. And you're like, oh fuck.
I want to just mention, it just came out. Alex Galchenyuk has signed with
Colorado.
Colorado.
Hey!
No way.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was the KHL.
Yeah. No. No, he
They
signed.
wanted him. They wanted him, and he was there at camp, and they would have signed him
The
where he
KHL
not
did.
injured.
Yeah.
In the KHL. No, and he was playing with the Colorado Eagles, which I thought was ECHL, but I guess they're AHL now. And there you
That
go.
career will not go away. He will be on perpetual 1-year deals could be for the next decade. Who knows?
So he was part of. I got to make a video about this. He was part of the 2012 draft. What a garbage draft! Really, really bad. Because think of how his career has gone. Still one of the top scorers.
Wow.
Still
But he
one of the
was
top
really
scorers.
good in Montreal. If he hadn't had
That was a long goddamn time ago.
I know, but if he hadn't had like a boneheaded coach who hated everybody, I think perhaps he would have had a better career.
I think there's a little bit of give and take there.
Look at how
Yeah,
Look
I
at
think
look
Terrian's
at Montreal. Look at Montreal in just the 8 months since Bergevin left.
Longer. Than
When
that.
did
A
he
little over a
resigned in
year
like
ago.
January, didn't he?
No, I thought it was very shortly after the season began last year.
Okay, so
It was around this time.
so
last
maybe it
year.
was 12 months then.
Yeah.
Look at the change in that organization. They've gone from like, we don't like math, we don't even have a calculator on staff, to we are one of the most advanced analytics teams. They have a great, they drafted really well this year. They got players stepping up, being unbelievable. They've got a swagger. They're finding value in lower picks too, which is something the Canadians could never do before. I don't know, man. I'm pumped about the future of the Montreal Canadiens from like a hockey perspective, because I think the NHL is better when they're good. And I think, I don't know, man. Doesn't make sense to me.
Marc Bergevin was fired on November 29th.
Oh,
20
it's a day short.
2021. We are one day away from the 1-year anniversary. That's very funny.
And this is the thing, right? Like I feel like had you had, I mean, listen, nobody was an analytics organization back then, but there were places where, you know, if Galch had gone to Detroit, I feel like they would have developed them better.
Maybe, although pretty bad era of Detroit. You got to remember, 2012 was 10 years ago.
I know.
It's weird.
It is
right?
weird.
Yeah.
Super
he
weird.
still feels very young.
I know.
That's like a 30-year-old man.
So does PK, and he retired.
Yeah, man.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Unless he comes out of retirement and just joins a team for a playoff run, which could always happen too.
Nah,
Nah?
I
don't
don't,
think
think
so?
so.
All right, 2012 draft in order of games played. Morgan Riley, Cody Ceci, Tom Wilson, Galchenyuk, Trouba, Lindholm, Hampus,
Yeah.
Thomas Hertel, Tanner Pearson, Damon Severson, Philip Forsberg, Zemgus Girgensson, Chris Tierney, Oli Mata, Tara Vinen, Matt Dumba, Jacob Slavin, Colton Parayko,
Slavin's in that draft.
Shane
Good draft.
Gostisbehere, Colton Sissons. Who at Frederick Anderson, Connor Brown, out of all those players I just listed, can you give me your top 3 2012 draft picks?
Well, I think Slavin, Riley, Philip Forsberg would be mine.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I don't know if that's in any order.
Tom Wilson, Hertel.
Oh, they're great.
Trouba?
They're great, but I think Slavin to
You're
me,
asking for top 3, man. Like,
Top 3? Oh.
Slavin to
top
me
10.
is like he's the Norris Trophy winner that hasn't won it yet.
So it's actually not
I love
that
Jake.
bad
I think
of a
Slavin's
draft.
amazing.
It's not that bad of a draft for defensemen.
That's not bad.
They have some pretty good.
But in the
defense-
top 10, the way it was drafted was bad.
Oh, the way it was drafted was abysmal, and the forwards in the draft were abysmal. What was the actual order? It was Yakupov, Ryan Murray.
Yeah, I'll read it off to you. It's
Alex Galchenyuk.
Yakupov, Murray, Galchenyuk, Griffin Reinhart, Morgan Riley,
Reinhardt.
Hampus Lindholm, Matt Dumba, Derek Pouliot, Jacob Trouba, Slater Cuckoo.
What did the
Morgan Riley
what,
really was the third defenseman picked, eh?
What did the Oilers give up to get Griffin Reinhardt again?
The 16th overall pick, which the Islanders used to select Matt Barzal.
For Griffin Reinhardt.
Tough.
And that was back when the Islanders weren't ripping anyone off.
That is. It is.
Wow.
Griffin Reinhardt
Wow.
was 2 more NHL points than any of us. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
That's rough.
26 PIMs, though.
Not a great career. Where's he playing these days? Oh, my God. He's playing in England.
EIHL.
Oh, no. Sorry. He's playing in the EIHL, but he's playing for the Belfast Giants. So he's playing in Ireland.
Oh, my God.
Actually, that honestly
Fourth
sounds like
overall
it'd be
pick.
a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like
no.
if you're not an NHL player anymore, like going to Ireland would be I think that'd be a riot.
By all accounts, playing in anywhere in Britain or Italy is really fun.
I think remember Angelo Esposito?
Sure do.
He was like supposed to be a huge draft pick and then he fell and I think the Penguins picked him. Anyway, he ended up in Italian league too.
Oh, sorry. I was just looking at his team. The top scorer on the Belfast Giants is a Leafs draft pick.
Who?
JJ Pitchenich.
Oh, I remember him.
I remember JJ
That's a Leafs
Pitchenich.
draft pick?
He sure is.
Whoa.
Fourth rounder? That's a Burke era pick. Sorry, I was just looking through the team to be like, I don't know any of these people.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ontarians.
Ontarians?
Ontarians on the team.
Jackson Whistle. That's an unreal name. Oh, and he's a goalie. Yeah, dude. I know one of these names.
No, you know 2. Griffin Reinhardt and JJ. What did he say?
Pitchenich. He's here. This is bugging me now.
Oh my God.
He was a
Round
fourth
4.
round pick in 2014. JJ Pitchenich. London Knights.
I'm falling down the rabbit hole a little bit here, but I just looked up Angelo Esposito. So the last time he played was with Series A in Italy for Cortina, and he had 38 points in 31 games, which is pretty cool. And I was just looking up Milan's hockey team, and
I love doing this shit.
It's sort of fun, right? Like
it's so fun.
A name that came up that I didn't even realize who was the captain of the team. Do you remember Milan Gulas?
No.
I don't know why I knew this name, but it was such a crazy, like, I think it was just because it was such a Gulas. For some reason, it always stuck with me. He was like I don't even know if he was drafted, but it was just a player. Anyway, he's still playing, and he was the captain of Milan HC, which was founded in the 50s, by the way. They've had a hockey team for 70 years.
Yeah, man.
It's nuts.
Hockey.
Love it.
It's a big deal.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys this. And I know, Steve, you're not really a car person, but I want to ask you about this.
Okay.
So, Ferrari today.
You lost me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's part of your heritage.
Yeah, I get it.
Ferrari today came out with a car, a car that will only be available online.
Okay.
Stop.
So they have released a car
like a Tesla
that is quite literally only for a video game.
Oh, it's not a real
Quite
car.
literally only be available online. And people are freaking out about it and like, wow, this is so cool because it's the 75th anniversary and it's for Gran Turismo. But I just wanted to know what you thought about a car that is only available to buy online.
In Gran Turismo.
Yes, that you have to purchase. And by the way, Gran Turismo apparently was a huge letdown in terms of what you're able to do in the game.
That's stupid.
Boo.
Or does this not get your motor running?
No, because it's just a branded version of a thing that's been available for like 40 years. Oh, it's a car that's only in a video game. Wow, that's almost every video game ever. What are you talking about?
That's all the video game cars.
It's just branded.
Well, like, yeah, you're right. Everything in Grand Theft Auto, it's like a takeoff of a real car, but they don't have the real brand.
Or Twisted Metal.
I remember Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal and the evil ice cream truck.
Yeah.
You could, like, what? You've never been a child? You've never played a video game?
You know what's
before?
only in the video game? A gold coin that I jump and I get when I'm Mario.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
It's not real money.
It's
Weird.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, let's do this in every video game. Oh, it's a hockey stick you can only get in NHL 23.
Oh.
Well, I'm pretty sure they have those. Don't
I'm pretty
they?
sure they
they
have
have
it, but we
tons.
don't all shit our pants
And you have,
over
to,
it.
you have to pay for it
No, you got unlocked.
because it feels like
Do you
that.
have to pay for this?
So, yeah, how much does this
apparently
cost?
It's an NFT you can use.
So that's the thing is it feels like an NFT that you can use because
which makes it better than an NFT.
so
How much is it?
slightly. It doesn't say, but Gran Turismo is very notoriously, at least this version of it, very, very difficult to grind out because you used to be able to buy cars in it and then sell them.
Yeah.
Like you'd upgrade them and then sell them, and that's how a lot of players leveled up and would get to like McLarens and Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And
That's just Warhammer.
you know, but now you can't do that anymore. They won't let you sell the car, so you have to grind out hours and hours and hours and hours of play, or you can purchase with real money. But it doesn't say how much it'll be worth.
Well,
How much VC?
Yeah,
Gotta
I don't
spend?
know. It's fine. It's fine that they're doing that, but I refuse to acknowledge it as a big deal.
Right.
I refuse. It's a video game. You can do whatever you want. So cool that they did whatever they wanted and made money while doing it because I assume Ferrari paid for it.
mm-hmm.
Boo, fart, don't care.
Okay.
Ooh. You know, Halo has a an armor suit you can only get online.
In Halo,
In Halo.
crazy.
Yeah, they have a Goss. What is it? Warthog?
I don't even know.
Yeah, Halo. There's another game with a car that you can only get online.
The Warthog with
The Warthog
with the big machine gun on the back.
Like that will get my attention.
Okay, if that made it into Gran Turismo,
Yeah, if you could race a Warthog versus that car.
what's crazy about the Warthog was that the back tires turned too, right?
Oh.
You know, the front tires usually just turn. Now it's the
all-wheel
back-
drive.
That's right.
To
All turn wheel drive.
to
It's crazy.
take on the Covenant. And yeah, no, part. Boo, don't care.
I just, as a fan of video games, by the way, I want you to know that I took up Red Dead Redemption on the weekend.
Oh.
Whoa.
And to make it
They
through
have a
that,
car you can only get online. It's called a horse.
they have Steve. They have entire houses and towns you can only get online.
I got
crazy.
some more Ferrari details.
Oh,
for
what do you got? What do you got?
So the car is coming out on Gran Turismo 7 on December 15th, and it's for those who complete the World Finals viewer campaign. And December 23rd for everyone
Does it
else.
say what it'll cost if you can buy if you don't want to play the World Finals? Because there should be a way around it.
If you
Usually
don't.
there's money.
I think you have to complete that part of the game.
Gran Turismo should have
Here,
to pay
it's-
for this segment on the show.
It's for players who successfully complete the Grand Prix or World Finals campaign. The car will be available. GT will appear at Brand Central. So Brand Central, I guess, is where you can buy shit. I guess, but I don't know how much it costs. How much VC?
Art,
So yeah, if you can complete that campaign, you can get the virtual Ferrari.
eat a bunch of ice cream. Fart.
You know what the new F1 game lets you do?
Lactose.
The new F1 game lets you like build an apartment
Mm-hmm.
and you get to own your own supercars too. So like
I've run out of room in my
have
apartment.
you? Yeah, I put
That's enough.
Yeah, like I have like a McLaren sitting in my living room on the F1 game. That
is
my
enough.
favorite car.
I unlocked all the cars, but there's not enough slots in your apartment for all the cars.
So you have to
Too
like
much.
rotate them in.
Yeah.
The other thing is, did you ever play where it's like you're test driving this car and then you go from an F1 car to like a hypercar, like a luxury car, and it's almost impossible to drive them. They've made them like terrible.
They've taken away the the steering.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're just drifting all over.
Yeah.
I think you can make a game too realistic. I think the example I made the other day talking to someone, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where you have to work out and eat properly. And I'm like, so this is just living life then.
That's why I stopped.
This is just The Sims with guns.
I played The Sims in like grade 7 and grade 8, and in grade 9 I was playing it.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, it was starting to get deep, right? Like they hit the pets edition and stuff, and I had that. And then I was like, I have to do all of this shit in real life. I have to take my dog out for a walk. I have to make my own bed. Why am I playing a game about this?
And like,
I never played it again.
And it's a video game, so I'm not eating properly or working out. And then you walk around the street and people are like, damn, CJ, you're fat. And I'm like, oh, this is just my real life. I didn't need to pay $60 to live my real life, minus the gang.
By the way, that happens in Red Dead too. You just have to run. And like your stamina goes up, and then it's like if you eat too much, though, you'll gain some weight. And it's like he's eating beans and like old venison.
Yeah,
and what is he possibly going to gain weight on?
Damn, do you feed that nag? They even comment on your horse. Yeah, I'll kick your ass. How about that? I give my horse $18.99 meth.
Have you?
And I outrace you. Sorry.
Have you? First off, it takes, and we talked about this last time. I'm going to take my very few waking hours that I have to play video games, and I'm going to get through chapter 1, and chapter 1's painful.
If I could make one change to Red Dead Redemption 2, I would make chapter 1 skippable.
Yeah, please let me get through that.
Yeah.
But I got through it, and I finally shot the bear with Hosea. And then
that's chapter 2.
That's chapter 2. Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I got
where
to
you
that,
get to do things.
and then I made the hat out of it, and everybody's like, "Wow, that's nice get up, Mister."
Yeah,
yeah.
Where did you get that?
That's wild. Anyway, to change subjects to one that's a little bit more serious before we do press conference here. Obviously, yesterday, along with everybody else on hockey Twitter, we found out about what exactly, from Rachel Doerrie's perspective, has been going on. What we read was something that she tweeted, and both ESPN and Daily Faceoff have written up articles about it. I encourage you to read them, or you can read the document yourself.
Yeah. For the audience, who's Rachel Doerrie?
Rachel Doerrie is...
that's me kind of kidding.
Yeah, no, of course. But if you don't know, she's an analytics mind, brilliant mind. Who's
video mind.
Who's worked for the Devils, worked for the Canucks, and worked for some other teams in and around Toronto as well, and also worked for the Athletic, and has done some amazing stuff. But she was hired in Vancouver last January. I believe she was due to move there and did move there, and then dismissed before the season started. And there was a lot of
after being promoted.
Yeah, after being promoted to the coaching staff, like 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later she was let go, and nobody's known why. And we knew that there was some sort of legal process happening, but nobody really knew what it was. And then yesterday, obviously, it was tweeted out. And so, listen, I'll say this: and none of us on the show are legal experts, so we don't know. I know that there's a difference between the BC court and the BC Human Rights Tribunal.
Yeah.
And that there is some damages being seeked out here. Obviously, we do know that she, in the documents, it talks about that she's been diagnosed with PTSD, that she has some heart problems, that there was a meeting with the AGM, Castengay from Vancouver, who, that obviously didn't go well. From Rachel's perspective, she basically had retweeted an article about her, and or at least posted it.
She posted it to her Instagram story, and then I guess she was hauled in the office and said, basically, don't talk to the media, and you're not important enough for them to care, and that was an actual line, right? Yeah.
That's what she said. Mm-hmm. So that's what's alleged to have been said. Now, we should also say that the Canucks and Emily Castengay have come out and said, listen, that's not true. That's not how this happened. We provided the resources. There's more to this, but I think there's a lot of people looking at us and going, hey, we want you to comment on this because you guys know Rachel. And we do. Rachel's been on the show. And I'll tell you this, man, my interactions with Rachel have been always positive, like 100% positive.
Yeah.
I can tell you
since she was 19.
I don't know if I've known her that long, but she has never been anything but great to us. And for us,
she's been to our live events. I remember the one we had at Real Sports on the second floor there. It was such a fun night. And Rachel was a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
My book launch.
Yeah.
The first time I met her was at the CBC food court. She was 19, and we were just talking about ways to get in the biz. And she's like, yeah, I'm 19. I work for the Sudbury Wolves. I'm like, I think you're doing okay.
You'll be okay. You'll be right. So
it's really difficult to provide advice to someone who's more talented.
And when you put it in context like that, for someone to work for so long and so hard at their dream job, and then to get this point and for this to be the ending of her second tenure in an NHL team. It's just an unfortunate situation all around.
It is. So we don't have any expert legal opinions or a take for you, other than what we can tell you is our personal experience with Rachel has been great, and we wish her the best. And honestly, I don't know what else to say.
What I would throw out there is, this is more difficult to talk about because we know one of the people involved, not easier.
Oh yeah, way harder.
Yeah, it's not done. I'm interested to see how it evolves. I don't know more.
I don't understand the process.
I'm not playing coy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Adam is a legal expert in the same way that I'm a early childhood education expert.
Yeah.
It's just no.
Well, and also like my wife knows Ontario law, but every
Your wife.
I know every jurisdiction is different. Like we were talking about the difference with a lawyer actually between Ontario and the rest of Canada's laws and what they're based on, and then Quebec. And Quebec is based on the codes that were written by Napoleon, whereas the rest of Canada, yes. And then, but then the rest of Canada is more common law, which is a British thing. And anyway, long story short, for us to be able to dive into the illegalities, we just don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's asking for us to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody comes here being like, oh, you guys are lawyers. Talk about the law.
Well, I think there was sort of like that we knew more than what was being reported. We don't.
No.
So anyway, we wish Rachel the best, and that's all we're just gonna leave it at that.
I look forward to a resolution.
Absolutely. Let's get to the press conference. The holidays are almost here, and there is plenty of t-shirt cheer thanks to our sponsor,
True Classic.
That's right, fellas. We got the perfect gift for you. True Classic are a gift for you, for her, and a great present for any guy in your life. True Classic's on a mission to maximize men's confidence. If you're rocking that Santa bod, True Classics might be the miracle you've been waiting for. Almost all men's tees are designed to look great for certain body types outside of just the one body type that every other store makes them for, which is kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So True Classic has already helped 2 million men feel and look their best, and you can save big while you do so as well. Get 25% off True Classic with our exclusive link, at trueclassic.com/dangle. That's right. And the discount doesn't stop there. You'll save even more during the site-wide sale. Support our show, and you can check them out at trueclassic.com/dangle.
And when you get there, it'll say, your discount from Steve Dangle will be applied at checkout.
Steven.
With a PH.
No, hell no.
Steph Dangle.
Never.
Want to bet? You can do so at Sports Interaction. It's Canada's sportsbook. Every hockey, football, basketball game at your fingertips. And, of course, the World Cup. A lot of footy, right, Steve?
I don't.
A lot of kits, right, Steve?
Footy and pitch, and they lost, so I'm sad.
And what do you call a goalie, Steve?
A keeper.
No, you call it a goalie, according to you, anyway.
Well,
this show. Bet pregame, live and play are one of the many prop bets made for Canadians by Canadians. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Join now and see that all that sports betting has to offer. SportsInteraction.com/SDPN. That's SportsInteraction.com/SDPN. Ontario only. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
All right, Adam Wylde sent me something to bring up here.
I don't know if this is worth bringing up.
Jesse's watching himself on his screen.
I'm not. I came up on Twitter.
Narcissist.
All right.
Piece of crap.
Adam Wylde sent me a tweet from @SebJackson.
I wasn't sure if this was press conference worthy or not.
Seb Jackson tweeted, I was trying to find the Adam Wylde interview he did years ago that I enjoyed. Typed his name in on YouTube, and the suggestions it gave me are wild. So I'm going to start reading the suggestions that YouTube gives when you type in Adam Wylde. This is the tweet from Seb Jackson. It says, 1, Adam Wylde. 2, Adam Wylde divorce.
Yep.
Adam Wylde wedding.
Oh.
Adam Wylde new wife. Adam Wylde house.
Oh, he's moved 1,800 times. Yep.
You can never pin me down on a house.
No.
Adam Wylde TJ Jacks. That makes sense.
Who are they?
Adam Wylde baby. Adam Wylde engaged. Adam Wylde second wife. Adam Wylde Natalie. Adam Wylde married Natalie. Adam Wylde second wife. Adam Wylde married again. Adam Wylde new wife Natalie.
Jesus.
Adam, what the fuck's happening here?
I don't know, man. Maybe I should talk about something else.
Do you have a new wife?
I thought we talked about hockey on this show. It's crazy. You
What,
know
are
what?
you new to this show?
I want to Google Adam Wylde house and see what happens.
Adam Wylde goof.
Does not
Adam
say.
Wylde smelly. Adam
Andy?
Wylde devil's jumpsuit. Pajamas.
Well, at least it doesn't show where my house is. That's nice.
That is very good.
It's good to
Adam
know.
Wylde dummy thick. Adam Wylde dance.
Dummy thick. What are you talking about?
Thick with 2 C's.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. I don't know. I thought I was like, I don't know. I like when I look up here. Let me just put in Steve Dangle.
Oh no. Nashville.
See, Steve Dangle Podcast YouTube is the first hit.
There you go.
Podcast Twitter, podcast schedule, podcast Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, podcast network, net worth.
Net worth.
Yeah. So when I put in Jesse
Net
Blake,
worth? Oh.
What is it?
well, let's
What
find
is
out.
it?
Steve
What's
Dangle.
Steve Dangle's net worth according to the internet?
I want to know.
Let me guarantee you this: it's lower. Oh, you're gonna love this, Steve.
How much?
You're worth between $2 and $4 million.
Let's go. Good for me.
If Steve was worth that, I don't think he'd be doing this show
How
anymore.
much is yours?
Adam Wylde net worth?
Yeah.
Adam Wylde net. Hold on. Should I just run it into? I'll run it into Adam Wylde on this.
Net worth.
I'll use the same site
Oh, okay, yeah.
because then
is
it's
the
apples
site?
to apples. Digital net worth.
We don't know these people and have never seen their financials.com.
Yeah, we're taking a total stab in the dark here.
Not the Canada Revenue Agency.com.
I also wonder. Here, I'll just Google it. The site search
.org.
function doesn't work. Adam Wylde net worth.
Why? It looks really good.
No, it's. By the way, who runs these sites like celebrity birthdays? They must make a killing.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Wylde net worth 2022. idlenetworth.com.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a pre and post divorce function?
Well, apparently, guys, I'm worth $5 million.
Oh my God.
And I can tell you this: if I was, I might not be working anymore.
I'm not getting you shit for Christmas.
Jesse Blake net worth.
Oh, my God. $4.
14 million.
Negative.
Jesse Blake McCann.
I'm not.
Jesse Blake fandom.
I'm not relevant enough to have myself under the net worth.
Well, Jesse Palmer net
Yeah,
worth.
no, I'm not.
Wow,
I don't
you're not
think-
on here.
Yeah,
No,
no.
Can
I
somebody
don't
make
think-
up a
Jesse's-
fake search
I don't
result for
think
this?
I would be.
Can we
one of
please
those-
enter Jesse?
He's one of those reclusive billionaires.
Yeah,
He's so
yeah.
rich we don't know about
It's
him.
like I have Saudi money.
Whoa.
You don't even know how rich
You got
I am.
some of that oil cash.
Yeah. All right, first question.
Jesse's Blake is his middle name. His real last name is Rockefeller.
First things first, join our Discord, stpn.ca, to join us on Discord. It is a very fun place on the internet. Second, thank you to everybody who ordered over the Black Friday weekend. We had tons of sales, tons of merch going out. If you ordered this weekend, everything will be arrive for Christmas. If you are waiting on ordering merch from our shop, you are cutting it close because we are not Jeff Bezos and Amazon. We do not have the fastest shipping in the world, and shipping speeds slow down over Christmas time. So get those orders in if you want to get everything in for Christmas.
Yeah, big companies, it's like, you know what? I think I should buy some. And then someone rings your doorbell. Here's your gloves. What? No, we're small time. It's a
Small
little
business. It's a little bit more time. Get those orders in if you want them in for Christmas. All right, this question comes from Vince613. When are you guys going to start talking about the Kraken? Last year, you guys said they were a non-story in the NHL.
They were.
This year, outside of the right story, they've gone virtually no coverage still. And yet they're fourth in the NHL by points percentage and are even ahead of the Leafs.
Nah.
They're only 4 points back of the Knights with 2 games in hand and even beat them pretty handedly last week. Talk about the Kraken.
First of all, you mouthy Kraken fan. Fourth by points percentage. Since when do they decide the playoffs by points percentage? Go fart in your hat. The Leafs are fourth. You leave fourth place alone. How dare you? Second of all, didn't that feel great? For me to yell at you and have feelings about you?
What the fuck?
The reason, no, I'm
I
pointing
know what
that
you're
out.
saying. I know what you're
is,
saying.
Here's where you are now. You've entered the arena of relevancy.
Yes.
Last year, the Kraken were not in that arena. They were in the opposite direction.
Of the arena.
They were like ordering an Uber anywhere near the Gardner Expressway. It's just going back and forth, has no idea what the fuck is going on. No, like, listen. The Kraken were bad last year and not even worth talking about. This year, I mean, they've lacked a little bit of the big moments.
There hasn't been like a gigantic lead-wide story about them,
Yeah.
other than
Shane Wright.
Yeah, well, like you look at, and yeah, isn't Shane Wright a Kraken story? What the fuck?
Yeah, why does that not count?
because it's not positive.
Oh,
Only
say positive
That's
things.
fine. The Bruins have been highlighted very prominently on the show, and I don't recall that being very positive, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But we also said
the
Wylde on a tear.
Devils have been featured probably too prominently on this show.
I wonder
and that's
why.
been only positive.
And
Only positive.
But they had a 13-game winning streak.
Yeah.
The Vegas Golden Knights, I don't think have gotten that much love.
No, we haven't talked too much about them. They are on a tear. But I'll say this. Listen, man, Seattle is a road warrior team, 7-1-1 on the road.
That's really hard to do.
It is. Good for them. That's awesome.
And it sets them up for continued success.
For sure. And I think that they are probably for real. But you can forgive fans for going, okay, but let's see a whole season.
Right.
It's
Who
20
are their leading scorers?
That's a great question.
That's what I was
I just
just
have a look
looking
at that.
Everybody's doing that.
All right, let's have a look. Team roster. Well, I'll tell you this: their website's almost impossible to read because of the way they laid it out. Perfect.
So
Here we go.
It is how I thought it would look, actually. They score by committee.
Yeah.
Andre Burakovsky, so far, one of the best free agent signings, right? 21 points in 21 games. Matty Beniers.
Rookie of the year.
I don't know if he leads all rookies in scoring, but I got to imagine he's close. 7 goals, 11 assists for 18 points in 21 games. And this is incredibly impressive. While being one of their most prominent players, 0 penalty minutes.
I also want to talk about, and I think this is fascinating, the fact that the goaltending they've had has continued to be trash. Like one of the things last year that they really sunk them was their shitty goaltending. And the best they can do is Martin Jones with a .903 save percentage.
That is such an improvement on last year, though.
Which was like an .886. Philip Grubauer is exactly what he was last year. He's at an .870.
Yeah, so he's still terrible.
So they're
unfortunately.
outscoring their problems, which is great.
Here's what they had last year. Drieger in 27 games was an 8.99. Grubauer in 55 games was an 8.89, and Joey Decord in 5 games was an 8.50.
I hope the Kraken make the playoffs so that I can bet against them in the first round.
This is so
And
crazy.
make a lot of money in that
This
first
is-
round series just betting against the Kraken.
I would
Yeah?
love to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have Stanley Cup champion Andre Burakovsky.
I would love to know.
They're a house of mirrors.
The NHL's website
You
sucks.
think?
Yeah.
The NHL's website sucks for stats because I would love to know how many shots against every team has taken, and I can't easily look that up.
You're on the wrong website.
What should I look at?
Hockey Reference or hockey DB is okay. Hockey References.
Elite
Go to.
prospects.
Elite Prospects.
Would it have that?
Yeah.
ESPN
I pay for elite prospects, though.
ESPN site underrated in their stats.
Are they?
Yeah, they have a ton of.
Because what I'm trying to figure out here is I can see what the goalies have taken, but I'm trying to see their shots against relative to the rest of the league. Because I'm looking at their goal differential, it's positive, and they actually haven't allowed that many goals. They're still like top 10 in terms of goals against. So it must be that they're not allowing a lot of shots.
You know what? You guys goofed on me for this, but they started without Yanni Gord last year, which I thought set them.
Grubauer was the bigger problem.
It's a difficult start. I'm amazed how much success they've had without Mark Giordano.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you were able to have success without Mark Giordano.
Mm-hmm.
But Matty Beniers, man, you got to have that big rookie.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that big rookie. I mean, Vegas that's a unicorn. We're never going to see that again. Ever.
No.
Ever.
Matty Beniers is cool, though.
Matty Beniers is cool. And what I don't get is, you know what? Maybe you got a point. All we could do was talk about Vegas. But they did it in their first year.
Yeah.
There's something about the second year. There's
Yeah.
an abundance of evidence that, or well, I should say there isn't an abundance of anything when it comes to the Seattle Kraken, but all evidence, as in last season, is that this is smoke and mirrors and they'll fall off. Whereas with Vegas, all we had was, I guess they're just good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason you haven't seen too much conversation about them. No one wants to be the hockey fan that looks at the hot team and goes, they're good, and then they never win a game again. Everyone wants to be the smart hockey fan. So I think you're going to see the Kraken talk pick up around Christmas and into January.
You want shots against per game?
Let's go.
The Kraken averaged 27.24 shots against per game, which is third best in the league.
There you go.
The Devils are the best, 25.7.
There it is.
Carolina's 25.8, and then Kraken third.
Score by
27.
committee and strong defense. Maybe they are going to be strong in the playoffs. Although if you have trash goalies, you have trash goalies. I think like you get exposed when you have bad goaltending. The Leafs have seen that.
Yeah.
Dave Haxtell, Jack Adams.
No. He's not winning the Jack Adams.
Did you think the Kraken were going to be
He's
a
not gonna
top
win the
10
Jack-
team?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's not going to win the Jack
It's
Adams.
not, it's
just
not a bad
saying.
pick.
It's going to Winnipeg.
I'm just saying it's the
Or New Jersey, or Lindy
Or
Ruff.
Jersey. Lindy's going to get it.
Yeah. No, but there's
it's definitely going to be
three.
Lindy, but
There's
yeah.
a top three right there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I-
they're scoring by committee. Man, I'm looking at some of these names. Holy shit.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's what I mean. Like when I was talking about the Leafs depth, I'm like, we could use a few more 7 and 8 guys. 7 and 8 goal scoring guys, not 3 and 4.
And that's all the Kraken have.
Leafs, by the way, fourth in shots against per game. 28.3 is what they average.
Well, the Leafs do have the leading goal scorer on the Kraken, Jared McCann,
Any other questions, Jesse?
Yes, I do have.
who
other
also
questions.
does not have a penalty. That's crazy.
Wow.
This question is some trivia. All right, Stump the Steve. This is from Love Hate Leafs on our Reddit.
Real.
Or Reddit. Discord. Actually, I'm going to read a different one. Sorry, Love Hate Leafs. I'm going to read the one above you. I
Okay.
think it's a little better. Charlie B. There are just 5 players left in the NHL to play prior to the 04-05 lockout. Can you name them?
Prior to the 04-05 lockout.
Yes. I'm going to give you 30 seconds on the clock.
Oh, no.
Sorry, what?
How many players?
There are 5 players left in the NHL who played prior to the 04-05 lockout. 30 seconds, 5 players. Steve Dangle, 3, 2, 1, go.
Gotta be Craig Anderson?
1.
Maybe Mark Giordano?
No.
No. Okay. Oh, boy. Who's older than that? I'm trying to think of the first overall pick. Jeff Carter?
No.
Ovi?
No?
No.
No, not Ovi.
Alan Walsh.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
2.
Oh, Flurry.
A brother. A Bruin. A beard.
Oh, Patrice Bergeron?
What? 3.
Beard.
A beard.
Jordy Ben?
Brent Burns.
Brent Burns!
Oh.
A brother.
Who was the brother?
Eric Stahl.
Oh, that's a bad
Does Eric
one.
still have a contract? Florida? Where is
Yeah, he
playing?
does.
Florida.
Yeah.
He
Damn.
does.
You should have got something.
I should. I did. I got one.
Yeah.
I think.
Hey, idiot.
Yeah.
When did I get something? Idiot.
Yeah. Giordano's the oldest active skater in the league, but I guess he didn't make his debut till later. He was an undrafted player.
Okay, I'll love hate Leafs. Well, I'll do this one to end the show.
Okay.
It's a good one. We'll get here. Your questions get in it, so you don't have to be mad at me. 3-on-3 overtime was introduced in October 25th. The Leafs played their first 3-on-3 against Ottawa. Can you name the 3 players Mike Babcock sent out for the puck drop?
So
Sorry.
October 25th, 2015, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's when 3-on-3 was introduced, and they played their first 3-on-3 game that
man.
month versus Ottawa.
Okay,
Can you
so
name the 3 players?
Who was
Mike
the really
Babcock
fast guy
sent
who
out?
couldn't score until he scored from his butt?
Grabner.
Grabner had
How much time you guys want on the clock?
Okay, you guess your 3 guys?
No, put your heads together.
Yeah.
Put your heads together.
Heads together?
How much time do you think it'll take you to get this? You tell me.
30 seconds.
Oh.
Because it's not a good team.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds.
Let me know.
3, 2, 1.
Morgan Riley was on that team.
Okay.
1.
Okay.
P.A. Parento, Vetchkin.
P.A. Parento, Ovechkin. Nazem Kadri was overused to hell on that team. But
Defensively, though.
October 25th, remember early in the season, the Leafs had so many injuries? I think it might be Peter Holland.
Okay, just bring it up. Bring
Peter
it up.
Holland.
Peter Holland, no, incorrect.
Bozak?
No, incorrect.
Parento.
No, incorrect.
Gardner.
No.
No.
Grabner. No?
Let's guys.
I have no idea.
We
I don't
guessed half the team, man.
You didn't guess the correct guys. Mike Babcock put out for 3-on-3 overtime the Leafs' first ever Morgan Riley,
Yeah.
Daniel Winnick,
Oof!
and Nick Spaulding.
God damn!
Those are dark days, man.
Did they win?
I don't remember.
Man,
Oh,
were the
look it
Leafs like objectively roster wise? The Leafs were way worse than Seattle was in their first year, roster wise that year. Like the
a million times.
Seattle had way more talent last year. Way more talent.
Ooh.
That's a rough look, man. Wow.
So that goes down in history. The first ever 3-on-3 was Riley with Winnick and Spaulding.
They lost in a shootout. So nobody scored in the 3-on-3.
The Sens suck. How'd you need a shootout to beat that team? You stink. Who scored in that game? I need to know. It was 5-4 in the shootout.
Who scored like over in the game?
Yeah.
For
And the shootout
Leafs,
winner. Screw it.
For the Bozak scored a goal. Peter Holland, Joffrey Lupul, Daniel Winnick scored.
Hey.
There's the 4 goals for the Leafs, and then the 5 goals for the Sens. Kyle Turris, Mark Stone, Milan Mihalik,
Hey, former Leaf.
Alex Chason also scored, and then I don't know who has the shootout winner.
He was a Leaf later that year, actually.
Oh, shootout here. Parento went first. He scored.
Hey.
He was good that year.
Versus Craig Anderson. Then out came Carl Turris. Did not score on Reimer. Bozak, unsuccessful attempt versus Craig Anderson. Bobby Ryan, goal on Reimer. Joffrey Lupul, no goal. Mike Hoffman, goal to win it.
Man, he was good.
He was.
He was real good.
Yep.
That's crazy that Hockey Reference has the entire scoring summary. That's deep knowledge.
That's where I spend my whole summer.
Good shit.
Is on that website doing trade trees.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Learned some stuff.
Learn some stuff and things. Oh,
Man.
now I get to eat chocolate? Thank you. Here you go, Adam.
No, not for me, thanks.
Oh, well, cool. I'll have 3. I'll have 4.
Hey, listen, we'll see you Wednesday. Love you.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.